Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's House Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying July, summertime, getting some nice weather and all that good stuff. Great time of year, isn't it? Outstanding. We got a great show today. Return guest, the Newburyport Harbor Masters in the house, Paul Hogg. How are you, Paul? Welcome back.
Great, thanks for having me. How's everyone doing today?
Everybody's good. Busy time of year for you. I know we had a little fun on a text message. You told me, I swear you text me at the busiest times.
You do that to me all the time. I think last time was Memorial Day weekend and Father's Day. And
Yeah. Well, I think there's a reason for that, right? Because the water gets, the water's busy these days. How's everything going out there on the water?
Busy. Yeah. Right now the docks are full. With the 4th of July being on a Thursday, and people have Friday off, so it extended the weekend. So a lot of people taking vacation time, and the fishing's really good. And yeah, there's a lot of boating activity. It's a little different than last year. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, every weekend it rained.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
like, oh, here we go again. But this year it's been totally different. The weather's been great. We got the new bulkhead in place and the docks, and so it's been really busy. A lot of reservations.
Yeah,
so it's good.
That part's good, right? Any incidents so far? Or anything?
I think the biggest thing we probably just recently had a couple weeks ago, boat fire.
Yeah,
you guys probably saw that.
I saw that. Yeah.
We trained for that stuff. It was good. We were lucky we get the boat off the docks.
Yep.
And people were around, so it was best case scenario as far as how it could have been.
Early summer test for you guys,
That's
right?
exactly what it was. Yep. So first thing we do is myself, the fire department, police department, Coast Guard. We meet up after. What was good? What was bad? What could we have done better? What can we do to prevent this? That's part of just continue training. And every situation we usually have, it's a cool off, or we have a post meeting and just say, talk about because like I said, everything doesn't go perfect all the time.
Sure.
And every scenario is different.
Yeah.
Just when you're training, for the one thing, something different happens, it throws you a curveball, and then you just, we talk about it. And
yeah, I
can definitely say we got a great group. Great fire department's great team, the Coast Guard, police. So we all work extremely well together, and we got a good team. We
pretty much talk about this. I was actually having dinner on. It was on the other side of the bridge, on the Salisbury Bridge the other day. It's a great little strip to hang out on. But I was just kind of, a group of us were talking, and it seems like every time you have dinner by the river, people talk about how very, very dangerous place here. These waters are tough, and like somebody always has a story, and you do always kind of reiterate that every time we talk. I mean, this is you got to be careful out there, because it's nothing to be taken lightly.
Correct. Yeah, it's not always rough and dangerous, but it can get extremely dangerous. So that's why we always preach to people about obviously life jackets and being prepared. It's life's gotten a little easier now too with the weather apps. Always pay attention, because especially now, like, you have a lot of late afternoon thunder showers where the wind and the hail and the rain can come through. So we're always trying to preach that on people, and just always keep your radios on channel 16, your VHF, because we make announcements. We start telling people whenever I start to see some storms coming in. Sometimes I send the guys out just to kind of give people a heads up, because they can come quick. But like you just said, it's Merrimack River, the mighty Merrimack, and it can get extremely dangerous.
And you're right too. I was just thinking about, because I even at the beginning of this summer, I heard people talking about how how it works here. It rains on the weekends and it's beautiful during the work week. But you're right. This is it looks like we're going to get a nice stretch here for at least through July, the extended forecast. So I know. Do you guys like that? Is it nice to kind of have a happening water body, or would you rather, like, let's have an ugly gray day once in a while and give the crew a break?
Funny you said that. It's both. I mean, obviously, because we want it to be busy. We're an enterprise fund, so my department kind of strives on the revenue of boaters coming in, stuff like that. But yes, it gets to a point when you have a long stretch. You look at the weather, you see 2-3 days of rain, you're like, yes. Kind of gives you a chance to get caught up, and do the stuff in the office. And because on the nice days, the last thing I want to be doing is sitting up in my office. That's the hardest part. I'm sitting up there, and a lot of times you're watching everybody out boating, and there they go. So it's
No, I think last time we talked, there was the big ship was in port, right? None of those this summer, or do we?
No, so we had talked about that. We feel like if we do it every year, it's not as special.
The novelty goes away.
Exactly. So the Maritime Museum does a good job at that, and we work well with them too as far as any plans for that. And those take a long time to plan. You can see their schedule, where they're going to be. So a lot of those ships try to roll it in with other ports, so they can hit each one on the way. So there's a lot of planning that goes with that. That's a ton of work, and I got to give the Maritime Museum credit, because some of the volunteers were down there for hours and hours and hours and planning, and it's nice to see it all come together with all the planning and all the meeting, and then the big buzz of the city when they show up and the people that are cheering. It's fun. I love being part of that stuff.
Here's not a no-one question for you. As we're talking about big ships, what did you obviously that tragedy in Baltimore? What was your first reaction when you saw that?
Yeah. You start thinking, same type of thing. What happened? What went wrong? What could we have done different? Then you start thinking about possibilities here, but we don't really get into stuff like that. And number one thing is just, my number one thing I thought was how lucky. I mean, there was a few fatalities, but considering how bad that was and how it could have been, and there was a lot of people did the right things with blocking it off and the call. So I mean, backpedaling on that and me looking at it, I mean, it could have been way worse.
Yeah. I mean, is it just from somebody who works in your line of work, though? Is it astonishing to you, or really not? Maybe not that surprising that a ship could hit a bridge like that.
It is, especially now with the technology and all the instruments that you have. But
bad break, obviously, right? Power outage.
Yep. That's exactly what it kind of was. Was just everything, perfect storm of stuff going wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I was working in the morning that day in the newsroom, and it's just, I'm sorry, what happened here? Like, bizarre.
I just remember rewatching it and watching it, and I'm like, wow, just how quickly that bridge collapsed, then.
And of course, everybody thinks around here, Tobin Bridge and stuff, which is actually a completely different structure and all that.
That's what they talked about.
Yeah,
things are much different now.
Yeah, but man, that's just one of those things that happened on the water here since the last time I saw you. So again, Paul Hogg joining us, Newburyport Harbor Master. What does your day here in the summer look like? Are you guys? It's a 24-hour staff, I would imagine.
Not quite. No,
really?
We don't run fully 24. We do work with the Coast Guard.
If you're boating at 1 a.m., it's on you.
Pretty much, I get the call. But we do have the Coast Guard. That's what I always try to preach to people, because that's a good question, because we are not 24 hours. So the Coast Guard is. That's why it's important to reach out to them on 16. Get the word out. Reach out to their dispatch, and then I usually get the call if it's something 1 a.m. Then I usually come in with my team, or and then sometimes we do run 24s, here and there, just depending upon what's going on.
Yep.
We send people out at night. We do it during the day, and because I'm the only full-time guy out of my 42 employees. Everyone's seasonal / part-time.
Gotcha.
Which is great. I get some guys that retired from the Coast Guard. I have retired firefighters. I've got all sorts of talented guys that bring stuff to the table, which is great. So anytime I think about doing anything, we all sit together and what's your opinion? What do you think?
Yeah.
A lot of times they look at it from a different angle, and they give me some good advice, which is nice.
No, that's good. A lot of helpful people. Those are a lot of helpful industries there.
Yeah. I'm very thankful to my group, and we work well together, train well together, and it's fun.
Is it like, do you, when you have like a boat fire, something like, take all the threat of injuries and stuff out of the way? Is it sometimes like that's what you're in it for, to make sure you put those situations under control?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
rewarding feeling.
It is. Yeah. It's very, life safety is number one. That we make sure that that's all set. Then, boats are just assets at the end of the day. Then you think about environmental. You just try to eliminate that as much as possible, as far as where the fuel's going, public safety. What can we do to keep this situation safer? But people are number one.
Speaking of environmental, I saw people jumping into like one of those 90-degree days, jumping into the Charles River in Boston, and I said, I still don't think I'd do that, even with the progress they've made.
Yes.
But what is the water quality out here these days?
Better.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the CSOs, but the number one thing you got to be careful of is electrolysis. There's a lot of stray electricity that comes out of marinas, from the current. So I highly not recommend is do not swim in near the boating areas, because you can get electrocuted.
Oh.
Could be fatal. We actually have some signs up where there's a new code coming into play that some of the marinas have to get up to spec. So we just did that with ours. So with the bulkhead project, we redid all electrical. But that's the number one thing to be careful of is, just dipping your feet in the water. It's not just the CSOs, the water quality. It's you truly could, there's stray electrical currents in the water. You could get electrocuted.
That is that feels like an old school problem.
Yes. Yes.
What's the background on that?
Yeah. Well, it's that's why there's new code.
Yeah.
To get everything up to spec, because there's just a lot of antiquated electrical equipment out there, and it's time to.
When you're dealing with shoring up safety and making all this stuff state of the art and up to 2024 standards, this is a region of the world and of the country that it's not always easy to do, right?
No, money.
It's expensive.
Permits, money, time, getting the right people to do it. A lot of those guys are busy now, but it was, COVID.
Yeah.
That's why they actually pushed back the code, because you could not get some of the fuses and some of the stuff that you needed to get it up to code. So it's kind of hard to tell somebody that they have to do it, but they can't get the equipment.
Yeah.
Now those days are over. Here's the new code, and it's actually starting to come into play. I'm actually working with Jeff Matheson, our electrical inspector, right now, in some of the marinas. to get that into play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can imagine there's a lot that goes into that. What's the one of my favorite conversations we had last time you were on the show was you gave me some of your favorite stories of just quirky things that happen. I think one person tried to drive up on land with a boat. And there was a dog story. Was it?
Yeah. So it just happened. He was at the launch. He was with his dog, and his dog leaped forward. He hit the throttle.
The dog hit the throttle.
And the boat went flying up onto the dock, and the poor little dog was sitting there like, "What did I just do?" You know how dogs getting.
This thing's got some real pick me up.
He looks at the owner. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Anything recently? I mean, you honestly must see it all, though.
Yeah. I mean, you could go on and on and on and on. The funny one too is sometimes everyone, my guys get a little mad because being from the city and in the city, everyone, I know Paul. And then sometimes I'll be out in the patrol boat and I'll actually, pull somebody over and they're like, hey, just, I do know Paul. I'm like, oh, that's great.
that's me. Man, so is that people trying to use your name, obviously, to get out of
Yeah. Well, like I said, being in the office, being in the boating community for 25 years and just, you kind of, you get to know everybody, but at the end of the day, we're out there to help. We're public safety. We're there to help educate, teach people, just keep the peace, keep the management going, just keep things going smooth, and get through the days.
There was another interesting kind of nook and cranny around here is obviously Plum Island that we talk about a lot, and I went down there this winter, and man, the flooding this winter that was I know they're kind of used to it there, but I tend not to go over there when there's flooding, please stay away, but I did go over and check it out this time, and I was kind of amazed just how washed out everything was.
It was probably one of the worst I've seen. Even Cashman Park, my docks picked up and started floating almost all the way up to my patrol boats.
Oh, wow.
It's probably, I think, the 25 years I've been here, one of the worst winters as far as the sea level and the water rising. And
What problems does Plum Island give you as far as that sort of like water body?
As far as my responsibilities, I'm also in charge of the parking lot down there.
Oh, okay.
And the bathrooms and the beaches I help with, So, I mean, anything beach-related usually falls under me some way or another. I'm helping.
Yeah.
But
not a huge parking lot there, right?
No, we got about 100 parking spots.
Oh, is
all
there?
the way down the point. Yeah. By Captain's Lady.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got a little shack there. There's a playground. It's a nice area.
Yep.
And the beach. Since the dredging has come back a little bit, and it's a really good fishing spot. They got that sandbar at low tide that people like to go out on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I see people throwing the lines in all the time over there.
Yeah, it's a great spot. And the fishing's really good there.
What makes it good there? You got some fishing skills in you? What makes?
I do.
I imagine so.
Well, now that you mention it, I do.
What do you got? What's the trick over there?
Live bait usually works the best. A lot of guys like to use live eels at night. It's always called to match the hatch. So kind of whatever they're feeding on, whatever size the bait is that they're feeding on, you try to match it up with that same particular size.
Okay. I know a few guys, they go out early in the morning, and
that's key.
I'm always getting the reports back. So
you want to be out there, first light, that the early bird gets the worm.
Is the Newburyport Harbor Master a morning person's job?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Well, unless you get that call at 1 a.m, then you're out all night.
How often does that happen?
Every other week.
Every other week?
There's something.
What is that? Is that commercial related, or is that more?
Both. Boat taking on water a lot of times at marinas.
Or just a parked boat.
Yeah, or somebody missing. A lot of times at the end of the day, someone didn't come back. You get the call. Hey, we're kind of starting to look around, stuff like that.
A lot of times, the first place people think is worst case.
They knew they went
water,
out,
right?
They knew they went out in the boat.
Yeah.
They hadn't returned. That's one of the things we always preach too. Is if you know you're going to be out, you set up a plan. Notify the Coast Guard and say, hey, that way there, if you're not back at a certain amount of time, they know that you're potentially something came up.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I bet people don't do that as much as they should.
No, they don't.
Paul Hogg joining us, Newburyport Harbor Master here. Good time of year to talk with him as the summer is officially here. Out of the 4 seasons, is summer your favorite or least favorite?
Unfortunately, it's my least favorite. In 25 years, I've never had a summer just to enjoy because I've always been working.
Yeah.
The fall is probably my favorite. You start
because things calm down on the.
Yeah. Well. You got 4th of July coming. It comes so quick. And then you got Yankee homecoming, and you kind of get through that, and then
that's the thing. Newburyport is like you blow through the 4th.
You do,
but it's just exciting in every community, of course. But it doesn't calm down here. There's events, there's concerts, there's festivals. Yeah.
There's always a good buzz going on. But the fall for me is good because it's still nice.
Yep.
I even, the tuna fishing gets a little better. I like to tuna fish a little bit.
Okay.
So
I'm
that's
glad we touched on the fishing thing.
yeah. I'm glad you brought it up. But so and then it starts, football season and the change of the season. Things start to slow down a little bit. Kids
Do you cut staff gradually as you go through?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kids. Kind of a weird feeling, I get all these new kids and all these, new hires, and you become, get a good relationship with them. They're like, oh, getting ready to go back to school, double sessions. It's like, wow, it just happens so quick, and the summer is so short.
Yeah.
And like you just nailed it. They just start gradually, kind of start going back. Which ones are staying? Which ones are going? And because they're all part time.
Yeah.
So I'm revolving around their schedules and their vacations and stuff like that. So.
What is the when you? I imagine especially on a weekend here in Newburyport, I'm thinking this coming weekend, the weather forecast is nice. It's people are feeling themselves early summer. Yep. I imagine a lot of your trips out on the water is probably a boat that maybe is a little bit too rowdy right now.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
do they treat you as a here comes the friendly harbor master, or
That depends. Here's Paul. I know Paul.
Yeah, that's true. Besides the fact that everybody knows Paul.
That's truthfully kind of what you want. I mean, we're there to help.
Yeah.
We also, you do have to enforce at certain times, but we're there to keep everybody safe. You're hoping that you're not having that rowdy boat and you don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Presence is key too. Just knowing that you're around. People think twice.
Yep.
Right now, it's Operation Dry Water, which is nationwide. So it's basically there's grants and there's funding. There's extra patrols on looking for those rowdy people. So if you don't do it.
Yeah. What is the what do you do if you get out to a boat that you don't like anything about it? There's too many people. Maybe people have had too much to drink. There's you don't like any of the feels of it. I mean, is it you telling them to go back in and I'll escort you in or what?
Yeah. You take their information. A lot of times I'll call the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
For backup, just to have another agency there if it gets to that point. If you start to get that feeling, you're not looking to escalate it.
Yeah.
But you also have to get them off the water to keep them safe. So generally, we'll
and other people safe. Right?
Yep, that's number one. So a lot of times, like I said, some situation like that, we'll either grab the PD on another patrol boat, have them come out and assist us, or we'll get the Coast Guard involved, environmental police, state police. We all work together. So if it gets to that point, they're only going to get so far.
Right.
We have helicopters, we got planes, we got boats, we got so.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen too often.
I do imagine though, it just being in a position of authority, it happens sometimes.
Yes.
You mix alcohol and attitudes, and
You're exactly right. People change.
Yeah.
Sitting out the sandbar in the sun all day, and
Yeah. What are you bothering me for?
That's just it. Yeah. And some people think they know the laws better than others, and you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. That would be annoying. But you say rare, so that's a good thing to know. All right, Paul Hogg joining us, Newburyport Harbor Master here. It's funny that I have him on during the busiest time of year. He goes, "What are you pulling me away for?" I'm just kidding. He doesn't say that, but and I actually screwed up the time. I was running behind. I was like, "You're here earlier." He goes, "No, I'm not," which I thought was good. Again, thanks to May Power, our boss Sarah Hayden, Ryan Rothberg, Maya Gaspin, our small but mighty crew here in Newburyport. What has been the most rewarding thing of the summer here so far? Early summer, I know there's a lot to do, but is there any changes or any moments out there that just said, yeah, that's why I do it?
I think, for this year, the two big things were the waterfront park.
Yeah.
That was a huge. So we had the waterfront park and our whole bulkhead project.
Yep.
So we upgraded all the electrical and the bulkhead, and really needed to get done. So that was kind of rewarding.
It doesn't sound that exciting.
But it doesn't. That's why I'm telling you. And then when I go to pull up to my office, I'm like, I can actually get to my office. It's not blocked. Yeah, it's the little things that nobody would know about. That's why I'm kind of talking about it. It was, and there was a lot of, like you said, it's concrete, it's pylons, and not that exciting stuff. But when you're doing this, and actually the bulkhead looks beautiful, and it's safer for the boaters. We're not going to have all the electricity popping all the time and issues, and it's a lot safer. So that was pretty rewarding, I would say, for this year.
Yeah, well, that's good.
The year before was the dredge project.
Yep.
I guess it's kind of harbor master stuff.
No,
but we've had some good saves. We've had some accidents which were really good. And, the weather's been great this year, so that's been kind of nice.
Like legit people saves or boats?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We've had some. Out at the mouth, that could have been really bad. Guys did a good job. There's some of the stuff you don't hear about.
Swimming off a boat or swimming off?
Yeah, we've had some boats capsize, boats taking on water. So we had one the other day that was coming in from tuna fishing, 7 miles offshore, taking on water, and we kind of followed them in. We got the pumps hooked up. Towboat helped us
So you're pumping water out as the boat's trolling in?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yeah. And sometimes the captain will make the decision where, depending upon how it's taking on water, that they're going to keep the boat moving.
Yeah.
And you get on with the pumps, because sometimes it's bad for it to stop. If it's taking in water through the scuppers in the back, or
Yeah.
how the incident is. But the key is just to get tied up to it, get the people with life jackets on, and then get the water going.
I mean, that must be, because working with those fishing captains, most of them, maybe all of them, they know what they're doing out there, too.
For the most part.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I knew there were a couple that didn't. No,
Yeah. Yeah. And then, but sometimes
Yeah.
you get into things that you can't control.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't care how good you are. If your boat's got a hole in the bottom, or something happens, or something starts leaking that you can't get to,
It's crazy how, I don't want to say how easy it is for that to happen, but like it seems like anybody who's ever been on a lake or even wherever, if you have a boat in the family or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
it seems like that has happened.
Yes.
I know.
It's a boat.
My dad forgot, he wasn't a big boat guy, bought his first boat, and we forgot to put the plug in the back.
Yep.
Things started going under, and we didn't know why.
It happens down at Cashman. That's why I teach my guys, kind of just watch for that, and then that's a more common than you'd like to realize.
No, I know, it's crazy. So the fishing boat thing is interesting because that's a hard job anyway. But when they're coming in, are they just calm as can be? Like this is we dealt with this before.
Sometimes, and sometimes they're in panic, because you can train for it. There's trainings, and there's through the fishing partnership.
Yeah.
There's actually trainings of boats taken on water. You have flares on the boat, how to shoot them off, how to use your fire extinguisher, how to deploy your life raft.
Yeah.
But when you're in the moment and you got other people on the boat, you as a captain have to try to remain calm to keep them calm. Because if you start freaking out,
Yeah.
they're going to start.
What was that crew?
The crew that was
The tuna, was it tuna fishing or what?
Yeah,
what
it was.
that?
They were part of a tournament. So I'm not sure if they had a charter on board or not. But they were coming in from tuna fishing, and they were a little bit of panic.
And they got their catch on board too, I assume, right?
Yeah. So we had a boat come in last year, a couple years ago. It came in on fire. It just as it pulled up to the fish pier.
Wow.
It caught on fire, which we got the people. It was kind of the perfect spot because we got the people off the boat. The fire trucks were able to hook up right there.
Would they know they were coming in with an issue or something?
So as soon as they pulled up, Paul, I smell a little bit, and I could smell the electrical burning smell with some light smoke. As soon as he opened up the hatch, it went.
Oh my goodness.
And we got them off the boat, and I said, "It's a boat. Get off the boat. The fire department's on the way."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But the good thing was now we had a hydrant right there, so they were able to hook up to the hydrant, and then the boat did end up actually sinking, but it only sank to a certain point because it hit the bottom.
Yeah.
And then nobody got hurt. They lost the boat, but
It's a good one. It's an easy one.
Well, they had a tuner on board, and after a time one, they go, "Oh no, now my tuna's smoked." And then they wanted to weigh it in because they wanted for insurance money to see what it cost, because they lost the value of the fish.
That makes
And
sense.
if you watch Wicked Tuna, that could be worth $10,000.
What a life out there on the water! My goodness, stories I never even think of. How many isn't it true that there's even from hundreds of years, whatever, there's wrecks at the bottom do you guys know where those shipwrecks are? I know I go to a beach in Gloucester, and there's a guy out there, he goes right up there, not far, I could show you someday, I explore it all the time. I'm like, really, right out there?
Yeah, we have them on the secret charts.
You do?
Yeah.
How many are right around here?
6
shipwrecks.
Yep.
Just right off, we say right off Newburyport.
within 12 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big shipwrecks.
Yeah, some of them were smaller. Some of them were I think one of them was a coal barge. And those are actually fishing spots for people too, because it brings in the bait fish, which brings in the big fish.
Dating back to what year?
Oof.
Or it's probably some of its estimations, or
Yeah, early 1900s.
wow.
Yeah,
Does anybody ever go down there?
Not that I know. You want to go?
You. No, not really.
Because we used to have, the rail trail. That used to be where
Yep.
obviously the train station was. And they had all the clipper ships that came in, and
Sure.
it was obviously a historic seaport, seeing that we're the birthplace of the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
So
So you have them on a charts is that for your boat traveling? What is
just
it?
old charts, because they don't even make charts anymore. So I just happen to have them just from seeing them.
Of course you do. That's old school. Good work. Yeah. Collector's item. Look at that. So I guess it's good to know what else is on those charts. Everything. Anything else you need to know under the water?
Well, they were back then. They had TDs, so 13 and 25 lines. Now you have GPS.
Yeah.
They used to go TDs timed different. So they used to have it mapped out different. It was kind of that's how I grew up doing it. The fish finders back in the day were on a piece of paper, and the screen would go like this, almost like a heart. When you were marking fish, it would start to mark it on the
Sure.
on the screen. Technology has come a long way.
It is. That was the first thing you started the show off with today, with the weather apps and everything, and that must have just changed like in the last 2 decades. Or I don't know, decade, 15 years, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
They've gotten so much better. I mean, say what you want about weather people and weather forecasts, and it is an inexact science, but those weather apps are amazing, and they must have just changed your life for the good and your profession for the good.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
But they seem to think just because I'm the harbor master, I have a special app that's better than their app that they have. Which,
I can see where people would think that. Yeah.
It must have a secret harbor master special app.
Yeah, yours is much more advanced.
Yeah. No, it's we pretty much use the same stuff.
What's so when if there's maybe a pop-up storm happening, which does happen. I mean, I think one just happened like the other day.
Yep.
Those things can be kind of violent and quick, and then it's beautiful and 90 again in 10 minutes.
Yep.
But like, what is it? Will you go out there and give people the option?
So it's funny you just said that. We actually posted it on our page.
Yeah.
We have a Facebook page, the City of Newburyport Harbor Master page. But we actually had one of my guys. He posted a good picture of him going out and telling people, "Hey, pay attention." And sometimes they're here, like you said, it could just miss you. It could be here, but we prepare.
Yeah.
But like I said, we send the boats out sometimes to just let people know, hey, heads up. Because some people. That's why it's important to always monitor your radio too. And then they have a weather channel right on your radios as well.
Sure. That's safety is the name of the game. Final word, Paul Hogg, Harbor Master, about people. Summer advice here.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Stay sober and wear a life jacket.
There you go. And don't drop my name if you get it. Too funny. It's always great to see you, man. Thank you for taking some time. I know you're incredibly busy over there, but I know the mayor always loves it when you come in too. He's a big fan of you. He's always you should have on. You should have Paul on.
Oh, great. Yeah. We actually just posted. I did with these guys. We did a safety video. I don't know if you had a chance to see. We did like a education.
They don't show me anything.
Oh.
I come in, they tell me to leave.
Yeah, we spent all this time out there. We spent like 2 hours out in the boat. Came out really well.
Oh, I did know they were doing that though.
Yeah,
That's great.
So we basically just started off, and I'd recommend people to kind of watch that. I showed some rocks. It was low tide. Talk about all the different areas. It was informative, and also kind of got to show people safety stuff. I kind of went over a bunch of stuff. That was the first phase.
The crew went out with you for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the video ended up being like 25 minutes.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, go watch that, people.
Yeah.
There you go. A little tease of that. What do we call it? What do we call that thing? Anyone?
Yeah, that's a good question.
A day with the Harbor Master? I like that. That's good stuff. Well, very good. You have a great rest of the summer, my man. Stay safe on the water, and we'll see you again at hopefully at a not so busy time, but there's no such thing really with you, right?
I'm sure you'll be calling me right before Labor Day.
That's a good idea. I'll put it on the schedule. I'll get the time right this time. Paul Hogg, Newburyport Harbor Master. Thank you, sir. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you to Maeve, Sarah, Maya, and Ryan, our small but mighty team here in Newburyport. I am Drew Moholland, live at Drew's house. Summer off and running. Be safe, everybody.